Ida Crown creates a wide variety of opportunities for its students to grow in every area of their lives. Judaic studies, secular studies, athletics, and everything that's around the room right now. In addition to a strong selection of academic offerings like AP classes, accelerated Gemara, European history, chemistry, and beyond just the traditional sports and clubs, Ida Crown has made room for more unique activities like fencing, for which I am a co-captain. Fencing is one of the fastest growing teams here, started only a few years ago by a student, Spencer Brash. ICJA responds to the interests of its student body, so if you have an idea that isn't represented here yet, maybe you can create it next year. Once we got started on the fencing team, students with no prior experience became top competitors thanks to our amazing Coach Price. I had never fenced at all before my sophomore year, and now fencing is a major part of my life. A sport of intellect and speed, fencing is just one of many extracurriculars available here at ICJA, as you can see from the many tables across the room. And these opportunities will only grow, as Rabbi Matinki mentioned, once we move to our new building next semester. Because the possibilities here are so plentiful, your high school experience is limited only by your own initiative. Thank you everyone for coming. I am Josh Polster. I am the Academy.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Sugar and I'm a Salman Schechter graduate. If it were not for Ida Crown's strong emphasis on Israel, this past summer would have been very different for me. I've always been a strong supporter of Israel, but during my sophomore year, my support took a much more mature form. I joined the Israel Advocacy Club and took Jewish history and learned that I loved to learn about Israel from political and historical views. In order to build upon my passion that was rooted at Ida Crown, I joined Right On for Israel, a 2-year Israel Advocacy program during my junior year. During junior year, we met once a month to learn about Israel and different ways to advocate and learn about Israel from every side. During the summer, we concluded the learning aspect of the program by going to Israel and meeting with Knesset members, authors, and many other higher-up officials. After Right On for Israel, I stayed in Israel to volunteer at the Neve Michael Children's Home. Neve Michael houses 180 children, ages 5 through 18, who have been removed from their homes due to drugs, abuse, and any other aspect that made their homes unsafe to live in. While I was playing soccer or video games with the 11-year-old boys that I was working with, I again found myself thankful for my Ida Crown education. The children only spoke Hebrew, and without the amazing Hebrew program that Ida Crown offers, I never would have been able to form the connections that I did with the children. As I grow older, I'm beginning to realize that many of my passions and accomplishments trace back to me being a student at Ida Crown Jewish Academy. I'm Amanda Sugar, and I am the Academy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gabriel Katz. I came to Ida Crown 3 years ago from Hillel Torah. With this great Jewish background, I helped start the Shema Club, students helping, encouraging, and motivating another. What inspired me to start this club was the great and inspirational rebbeim at this school. I remember sitting in my freshman year classes 2 years ago and listening to the rebbeim's love for Torah and Gemara. That is what inspired me. Today, I will be speaking about what we, the Ida Crown students, do at the Shema Club. The Shema Club was created to increase the Jewish activities around the school and help students reach their full potential by getting other students to help them. It will also improve on some of the activities already at the school by making the activities more meaningful. Each grade has 2 representatives. The representatives will be promoting Jewish activities and hearing the opinions of other students. To start off with some of those amazing ideas that people have helped come up with already, here they are. Number 1, a Ma'ariv minyan right after school. Number 2, a minyan at Buckingham Pavilion Nursing Home every day for students to attend to help make davening more meaningful for the residents and for themselves. Number 3, a 9 a.m. Shafri minyan at Or Torah with a Dvar Torah and breakfast after. Number 4, a promotion of the Shabbos project at our school. Number 5, a partnership with the Kollel to bring fighting terror with Torah. This initiative encourages students and faculty to learn 2 Mishnayot in the Zechut for Israel. Thank you everyone for coming. I am Gabriel Katz and I am the Academy.
Hi, I'm Hannah Levinson and I'm an Ida Crown graduate. I am one of the 2 assistant producers for this year's ICJA Takes the Runway, the school-wide fashion show. ICJA Takes the Runway promotes camaraderie within the student body, helps show how school-appropriate clothes can still be fashionable, and best of all, we work to raise money for charity. Last year, over 90 girls worked on the fashion show, and together we were able to raise over $3,000 for Shar. Sharshara is an organization that helps support Jewish women and their families facing breast cancer. We chose to donate the money to Sharshara because of all the different ways they help and empower women during this very hard time. 300 people came to last year's fashion show, and they were all able to see the results of all the hard work we put into it. Students learn the latest trends, which helps each student's stylist reflect her own sense of style. The fashion show doesn't only teach students about style, every student is also taught valuable life skills. Producing the show involves researching fashion, honing our social organizational leadership skills, and we also learn how to promote the event to reach our target audience. Each committee plays an important role in making the fashion show happen. For example, the stylists choose the clothing and style the outfits that are modeled. The models show off those outfits, and the photographers document it all. Other girls are also able to show off their dance, singing, and fine art skills in various other committees. This year's fashion show will be on February 3rd. We will be raising money for Yad Eliezer, which is an organization in Israel that makes weddings for couples that cannot afford their own. Our fundraising goal is $5,400, and with this amount of money, we can pay for a complete wedding for one couple. We look forward to seeing you all then. I'm Hannah Levinson, and I am the Academy.
Hi, my name is Holden Hirsch, and I'm a senior here at the Academy. As a freshman, the experience of private school was all new to me. Coming from Aptokisik Public School in Buffalo Grove, the dual curriculum, dress code, and high school were all great changes. Freshman year, I studied with my basic Judaic classes. With the help of my teachers and the ICJ community, I have not only been able to catch up with my friends, but advance into the highest level of Judaic classes. The teachers at the Academy are very supportive and are always willing to lend a hand to help a student. As I mentioned, at the start of high school, I required a lot of help with my Judaic studies due to my public school background. Never once did any teacher refuse me the opportunity to review a class lesson or explain a Jewish topic. One of the unique things about the Academy is the first day of school. As you walk into class, you'll receive a syllabus. On the front page of the syllabus, you'll find your teacher's name, and the class expectations. And on the back of the page, you'll find the teacher's personal cell phone number. Coming from public school, I found amazing that this type of personal connection permeates the entire community of Ida Crown. Each freshman joining the Academy is assigned a senior leader. The job of the senior leader is to ensure that all freshmen have a smooth transition from middle school to high school. When I was a freshman, my senior leader not only showed me where my classes were and how to get an A in Mrs. Aaron's English class, but also took me to Dunkin' once or twice a month. As a freshman, showing a class with a bag of Dunkin' made me cool because none of my classmates had licenses yet, and Dunkin' was too far to walk during our food period. I valued my senior leader not only because he helped me score a few donuts, but also because he was the first of many valuable bonds I made over my years at the Academy, which has enabled me to connect to the larger Jewish community. The most powerful reflection I could share is an example of the sense of community here at Ida Crown. It's our commitment to our classmates. On the first Monday of winter break, the Shachri Minyan was organized in merit of Refuah Shlema for our classmate and a dear friend who was undergoing treatment. Only expecting a small minyan, the school prepared a few tables, chairs, and siddur. By the time that the Chazan said the final words of Leinu, over 80 students, parents, and teachers were packed into the room, pouring their hearts into their tefillah. This communal support of a fellow student defines Ida Crown, and I feel privileged to become part of this family. I am Holden Hirsch, and I am the Academy.
Hi, I'm Shoham Ben Melech, and I attended Maimonides School in Boston, Massachusetts. It's safe to assume that very few high school students are able to say that they were a delegate for Venezuela on United Nations CEDAW. I guess I'm an exception. Starting high school is tough, but it's even harder when you're coming from halfway across the country, or so I thought until I moved to Chicago from Boston and started at Ida Crown. My first week as a freshman was not at all what I expected. My teachers were kind and understanding. My classmates invited me to more events that I could physically attend, but what really drew me to the ICJA community was the sheer amount of extracurriculars offered here. Although I loved all my classes, especially AP Bio, AP Calc, and Accelerated Gemara, one of my favorite parts of the day here is Model UN. My involvement with Model UN began when I was in 10th grade. I represented Cambodia at UNEP, the United Nations Environment Program, my sophomore year, and then Venezuela at CEDAW, the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, my junior year. Both meets were held at Yeshiva University's annual National Model United Nations Convention in Stamford, Connecticut. I worked hard to prepare for the convention, studying my country's, my committee's issues, and the United Nations history. Mr. Cooper, who oversees the club, taught us all how to speak effectively, convince collectively, and be unrelentingly driven. These lessons have proven to be successful. I won an honorable mention and a Best Delegate Award in the past 2 years that I've done Model UN. In case you think that the lessons I learned in Model UN have stayed in the conference room, I'd like to assure you that they have applied to all aspects of my life. My public speaking has improved tremendously. I'm able to think quickly on my feet. I can write a killer position paper, and of course, I can now discuss the Khmer Rouge regime on Cambodia for hours on end. Don't test me on that. My experience with Model UN is not a unique one by any means. Every single Academy delegate has had a positive experience with the club, gaining valuable life lessons that carry on far further than the classroom. I am grateful to be part of Model UN. It has impacted my life more than I thought an after-school club was able to. My name is Shohan Ben-Malach, and I am the Academy.
Hi, I'm Idan Pinchot, and I'm a Hill Torah graduate. For me, the single aspect of Ida Crown that has impacted me most has been the way that our school bridges the gap between the Judaic and the secular. In these halls, I have gained knowledge and experience on both ends of the spectrum. At Ida Crown, I have been given the opportunity to study and experiment in a variety of science courses. I still remember the lab we performed freshman year examining chemical indicators in biology and analyzing the makeup of the periodic table the following year in chemistry. I have also had the opportunity to take 2 years of AP level physics exploring motion, energy, and electricity. And after the AP exam last year, we spent the rest of the year learning the coding language Python and simulating different events and actions through our lines of code, a skill that is becoming more and more useful in our high-tech world. But what I find most remarkable about this school is that while doing all of this, I've also expanded my horizons religiously. With Yemei Iyun, run by the YU Torah Zion Kollel, in which students participate in more immersive, discussion-oriented sessions regarding a specific religious theme. With courses in Tanakh, Gemara, Hebrew, and philosophy that are tailored to your level and are often flexible in terms of studying topics that actually interest the students. And with the option for students to select a minyan to attend every day that fits and enhances their spiritual experience. But my Judaic and secular classes do not remain separate entities during the day. Rather, throughout my 4 years here, I've seen my Judaic and secular classes begin to intertwine. For example, this year, a case study on Phineas Gage that we discussed in my psychology course suddenly came up the next week in my Gemara class when discussing the 5 forms of damage in the Talmud. The analytical skills and logical thought processes used in our Gemara classes has significantly helped me with my math skills. And the European history information that I gained from my 9th grade Western Civilization class has been brought into an entire new light in my 12th grade Modern Jewish History class. I credit all of these experiences to the unique approach that we have here at Ida Crown. I am Idan Pinchot, and I am the Academy.